We have implemented SBM, Serena Business Manager, and we use that in our forensic audit loan review solutions product line. Life before Serena Business Manager happened, but it wasn't exactly pleasant. We had a legacy product that really just didn't meet our needs. It had a very poorly constructed UI, and it didn't really have the ability for our users to implement changes as they needed. And beyond that, we also had poor accessibility to the data within the system. Primarily, we wanted something with a robust workflow that could accommodate the complexity of the business that we do with our loan review solutions products. Beyond that, we wanted some reporting capabilities that users could manage themselves, as well as extensibility and scalability. A great example would be one of our users or one of our product managers would like to make changes to the user interface to make it more comfortable or usable for our users. They wouldn't be able to implement that because the system was very rigid and poorly designed, so they were left with no option but to keep what they had, essentially. We took advantage of Serena's professional services. We had a number of consultants work, both on-site and remote, alongside the development teams from Interthinx that were implementing the workflows, as well as some outside systems for handling data and things like that. Everything went very smoothly. We were very happy with our experience with the professional services group, and we continue to reach out to them when we have needs, even now. I actually am one of the people who probably logs the most tickets. I'm sure your support staff are tired of hearing from me. And that's not because there are lots of bugs, but they have been a very dependable source of information for us. If we're challenged with a situation we just don't understand how to implement something, or maybe things are not working the way we understood them to be, not necessarily a bug, just maybe lack of training on our part or something like that. We've reached out to them a number of times in those situations, and they've been very helpful. One of the best things that we've had experience-wise since we've gone live in production is that one day I received a ticket essentially from one of our users saying, I think I've received an error. It says there's no available work. Well, and to preface this a little bit, we do actually queue work for our users, and they are able to pull items out of that and then do their audits and forensic audits and things like that. The ticket really wasn't an error or anything. There just simply wasn't work for the user to pick up. It had all been cleared. So it was a nice kind of problem, if you want to say that, to have, and that it actually allowed some staff to move on to do other things and work on other areas of the system or audits that may have been backed up or needed more attention. So essentially we've been able to reappropriate staff without having to hire outside the company. So our previous system, our legacy system, was unstable, and it was a very crude system. Often had tickets, internal tickets in our ticketing system about problems with the system. I'd have to reach out to the third-party vendor, et cetera, et cetera. SBM has just been stable for us, solid as a rock, and it's been nice to focus my teams on enhancements rather than fighting fires and chasing problems within the system and having to contact vendors, things like that. We do over 12,000 forensic audits a month at the current rate. We're obviously looking to expand that business as well. With that, we have about 500 users in the system all day, 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, and the system has performed flawlessly in that regard. There's we've had no performance issues. It's been very smooth for us. It's very quick to move through the UI. The data saves very quickly when the users are working in the system. It's just been a very positive experience for our users in that way. Admittedly, a lot of our auditors are not highly technical people. They don't come from an IT background, so new systems tend to maybe frighten them a little bit, and there was some apprehension at first. Since getting into the system and really learning it and becoming trained in how to work through our totally revamped workflows, they've had some really great feedback. They really think it flows very nicely. They enjoy the much nicer layout of the UI. And the ability to create reports on their own, they just really love that. So. Buy SBM is probably the first step, and take advantage of the professional services group. not everyone is a workflow expert just because they purchase some software. A lot of people want to be, and they want to grow their systems and their software. The folks on the professional services staff can really help with that implementation, and have gone through this exercise several times with other customers who, have been in a similar position and want to do, have a more robust workflow and do more with it, but really just don't know how to put that into process. So that would be the biggest thing, I think.